Welcome to the Nerdiverse. Go ahead, sit and listen to the masters, the old heads, talk about what you love the most. Video games, comics, movies, and everything you need to maintain. We got the knowledge that's straight out the ether. Gonna need a drink and have to take a seat to expand your mind and listen to the speaker. Mike and the squad's gonna give you what you need. Please send in a question, come and get some answers, learn a couple lessons from the masters with the special guests. We got the Green Lanterns glowing on their chest. Yes, please sit back and relax, cause we're gonna hit you with them stone cold facts and allow me to be the very first to welcome you to the masters of the Nerdiverse. Welcome to Masters of the Nerdiverse, where we always have such sights to show you. This kumite of a podcast can be found on iTunes, Stitcher, Spreaker, SoundCloud, YouTube, iHeartRadio, and Google Play, and Spotify. I'm, of course, your host, Mike G, and with me, as always, is our conspiring co-host, Winter Trash Monk III.
Good evening. Oh, that's stupid. I regretted about doing that intro. What's up? This is Winter at Trash Monk. Aye. That's Trash Monk. Aye. And I'm coming at you in the same place I always come at you at recently, in the deep bunkers of the Wisecast studio.
Yeah, man, in the shallowed catacombs of Castle Wisecast. I heard you have a Igor in there, man. You gonna let him go home eventually?
Nah, he doesn't work for. He only works for fish heads, so I don't want him to go home.
Nice. Yeah, man. You can't take them back to the farm once they've seen Paris, man. Don't let them out. Don't let them out ever.
Can't take them back to the farm when they've seen Paris.
Yeah, man. Can't do it, man. Goodbye, Yellow. That's what Goodbye Yellow Brick Road is all about, man.
Goodbye, Yellow Brick Road.
You leave the farm. You see the big city. You're like, this is garbage.
I think this conversation is garbage. I don't know what you're talking about.
You know what? I don't care if somebody out there feels me. What's going on with you, Winter?
Yeah, nothing
Where
much.
You gonna come down?
Just working on my gaming PC. I put in the SSD drive and it booted up perfectly. I thought I was gonna have to spend another $100 on a OS, a Windows 10, but turns out there's already an OS linked to my Windows account. So guess what?
There you go.
So I'm gonna be buying Office 2016. Well, here's the dilemma. Do I get Office 2016 now or wait a month to get Office 2019?
Which is cheaper?
Probably.
Does it matter?
Probably Open Office. No, Office 2016 would probably be cheaper.
I guess 16. I mean, unless you're doing some next level Office stuff, you just need it for basic dictation, right?
Right. Now here's another thing.
Keep it cheap, buddy.
Microsoft, here's a little bit of news that we don't have listed. Microsoft is planning to totally remove buying like Office separately. They're going to focus by the year 2025. They're going to want people to buy Office 365, which is their monthly subscription plan.
Man, I can hearken on that because before I became an Apple baby and bought myself the glorious iPad to which I do all my artwork on, I was slavishly, I would say, dependent on Adobe Photoshop. You know what I mean? Been a Photoshop kid for years. So that's how I did my digital coloring for all my comic book art and stuff like that. But every year, Adobe got slimier with how they approach their Photoshop, to the point where it's like, oh no, this is just a monthly service now. We give you a suite of services, but I just want CS4. Like everything I've ever needed to do is perfectly fine on like CS4, even CS3 for that matter. It's like, no, you need the new one. You need the new one with the new suite of so and so. It's the stuff I don't need. Like, no, can I just get the download key for CS5? No. We can't give you that. You got to use our new stuff. So it's like I have a hard drive of just old photo PS. I'm sorry, I keep saying CS. Old PS files that I use just in case I buy a new PC and I want Photoshop on it, an old version. So keep the old stuff, man. As long as it works for you, save the money. You don't need 19 unless you do. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not a fan of all these subscription services for programs. I'm a fan of the old school, just buying CD and that's the version you have.
Yep.
But unfortunately,
totally agree.
By 2025, it's believed that Microsoft, this is like Office 2019 will be the final standalone Office you can buy. You will have to get Office 365. Now, whether that actually happens, 2025 is a long ways away. That's a whole other thing. And then the question arises, well, how long are they going to support 2019?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Do yourself a favor. Get you an external hard drive. Put the program you like on there so it's locked. So they can do whatever they want. You just maintain your 16 forever. You know what I mean?
Right.
You don't have to worry about that. That's what I did with Photoshop. Like I have CS5 somewhere and I don't need anything from Adobe ever again. CS5 does all my needs when I need it on that level. I'm the same. I hate this new subscription service for software. It's annoying, but I feel your pain, man.
Mm-hmm.
But my humble opinion, save some money.
I do have to say that with the $6.99, it does come with a terabyte of Microsoft OneDrive, which made me want to switch because I'm already spending, I think, $9.99 for Dropbox for the terabyte. But in the long run, OneDrive is a lot slower uploading things.
Do you have Google Drive, which is free?
Yeah, but I need that terabyte. I put all my files on a Dropbox, so I have no. I try not to put any. Like I don't even use the My Documents section of my computer. It's just all coming from the Dropbox file that I have on my computer. So I just know everything, all the audio I record, all the videos that I have, all the music is in there.
I see what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, I share 2 Dropboxes, one just for this channel and 2 for my other personal stuff. So I don't pay for Dropbox, wink, wink. I'm just still rocking the free boat. And if I need to free up some space, I'll just download what I'm going to delete onto my external hard drive and just delete it out of my Dropbox.
Yeah. So
I don't have to pay the subscription. You know what I mean? That's just me. Everybody operates differently, and that's totally cool.
And this has been.
I'm happy.
Office Cloud News.
Office Cloud, the Office Cast.
Yeah.
Right? I'm just happy that your Frankenstein's being brought to life, man. You know what I'm saying? Slowly but surely.
Yeah, the next step is getting a graphics card.
Yeah, have fun with that, my friend. That's gonna be the most expensive part.
It is a living hell.
It's gonna be the twister, dog. Oh man. Anything else going on with you, man?
Not really.
Yeah.
Just living the dream.
Living the dream, bro. Like all I want to do is talk about what I've pretty much done for the last week is just play Spider-Man on the PS4, Marvel Spider-Man. I'm not going to go into some big thing because there's already a MOTN haiku review of the game on our Twitter account, which is at MNerdiverse. I think my haiku kind of spells out what I think about the game, but it's good. You're a Marvel kid, you like it, it's good. You like this. Sony has been on this kind of roll of just excellent ass games between like Horizon Zero Dawn and like God of War. You know what I'm saying? Witcher 3. I think I would consider that amongst.
Are you still get off of Witcher 3?
Witcher 3 is so good. Shut up. I'll fight you forever.
Jeez, it's like me going. That's getting close to the point of it going. Yeah, Nintendo's been having so many good games recently, like Mario Odyssey, GoldenEye
Yep.
007.
GoldenEye. Shut up! It's not that old, you bastard. It's up there, man. It's in this life cycle. I count it. Damn it!
Okay,
It's in this life cycle, man. I
fine.
don't care. I will rep it forever. But no, Spider Man is just well written. So much money is in the game. The locomotion feels amazing. Just play the damn game. But I will use that to segue into our first bit of news for this episode, which has been labeled the saddest. I don't know if you heard about this. The saddest Easter egg in all of history, and it's kind of a nutty kind of little story. So this guy reached out to Insomniac, the makers of Spider-Man, the game, Marvel Spider-Man, and said, "Hey guys, I want to propose to my girl. It would be cool if you guys kind of just throw in a little note in the game so I can show her while we're playing, and that'll be my proposal." And one of the social media managers to say, "Oh, that's cute. Let me bring it to the team." During development, right? So they do it like in Spider-Man, in PS4 Spider-Man. There is a theater, and on the matinee theater movie sign, it says, "Maddie, will you marry me?" on there, right? So the guy, he's playing the game with his girlfriend. He passes it. No. Let me back up. So fast forward to the game is out, right? The game's out. Everybody's playing it. So the Insomniac guys reach back out to the fan who asked for it. Says, "Hey man, what did she say? How did it go?" And he was like, "Well, my girlfriend dumped me 5 months before for my brother." And they're like, "Oh,
Whoa.
I see. Do you want us to we could just patch that out if you want. Like, we could just remove that for you if you want." He's like, "It's cool." I don't know what to really say to that. It's cool. Hopefully this works and gets some Maddie out there engaged. So and Insomniac's like, "Oh, I don't know what to do with this now." It's the most craziest story I've heard in video games in a little while. So I definitely want to talk about the saddest Easter egg of all time. Oh man, have you ever heard anything like that, Winter? Like any really nutty proposals gone bad, or just people are just like, "Oh no, this is a bad idea."
I remember that one that was popular from the baseball game where the woman shakes her head no. I've seen that.
Yeah,
I've seen ones they lose the ring. But
oh wow, yeah, man. It reminds me of at the game where they have the kiss cam and they go around, and there was one where the dude, it was a kiss cam, and the girl went to lean in for a kiss with her dude, and the guy was being a jerk, and he was on his phone, not trying to do it. So the mascot ran up and just straight up laid one on her in front of the camera. And homeboy got super salty, and you could just see his face turn beet red. It's freaking hilarious, man. Don't be a jerk don't be a jerk in front of millions of people. I think that's a good pro tip for everybody.
Don't be a jerk, and make sure that the woman you're going to marry actually wants to marry you.
Right? You may want to hey, life is weird, man. People just fall out of love on a whim. Life is weird, man. Oh man, speaking of things
not get personal that are here, but
no, man, I'm not gonna. Boys to Men is for after the show. Listen to that later.
After the show.
Boys to Men are after the show. when the tape stops, on Bended Knee turns on. Man. Speaking of nutty news, I do want to take a second to acknowledge the passing of Burt Reynolds, which happened in between our last show. He died at age 82. And Burt Reynolds is one of those guys, man.
The man who was known for being eastbound and down is now westbound and above.
I don't know what to do with that. What does that mean? Is heaven to the west?
He died at the age 82. Iconic actor Burt Reynolds.
Heaven's off the 105 for our LA fans out there.
He'll now be running his own Cannonball Run
He'll be
in the sky.
in the sky.
For KCRW 32 News.
Signing off.
Yeah.
Oh man, Burt Reynolds was a cool dude, man. Best known for Cannonball Run, Deliverance,
inspiration for Norm Macdonald SNL sketch.
Turd Ferguson forever.
Yes,
that's not my name. Turd Ferguson. Also, Smokey and the Bandit, which was one of my dad's favorite movies. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Good old Burt, man.
Dungeons and Dragons, the movie.
No, that was actually Jeremy Irons, Doug. I think that was.
No, he was in a different one. In the Name of the King.
No, man, that's Ray Liotta. Doug. No, he wasn't in the Name of the King, wasn't he? He was the king, wasn't he?
Yeah, you shut your mouth.
I'm sorry, blasphemy. I forgot. He had to. He shaved his mustache and looked real weird, right? See, I'll always remember Burt Reynolds from his guest starring role on Burn Notice as the aging spy that helped Michael Weston destabilize a sleeper cell of Spetsnaz Russian operators in downtown Miami, Florida. I can just recite that whole episode if you want, or can we move on?
We can move on.
Okay, because I was just about to do it. I love me some Burn Notice.
Looks like he'll be having a boogie night in the light.
I like it. Like it.
For Fox News, I'm
Winchester. I almost doxed you.
I'm Michelle Wong. There you go.
I am Michelle Tafoya. Man, speaking of nights, man, or speaking of the nighttime, the spooky times, Jordan Peele is in talks to produce a Candyman remake, man. Mm-hmm. What is it this guy in the works for since Get Out? Because I thought he had Twilight Zone on his plate as well.
He does. I'm getting a little nervous for Mr. JP, man. Mr. J. Peele.
AJ.
Taking on a lot of projects.
Yep. Spreading yourself a little thin. My good.
Yes.
If you had to choose between him doing a Candyman remake and him doing a revised version of Twilight Zone, what would you choose that he focus on?
Oh, Twilight Zone. Give the guy who does Insidious the Candyman remake.
Oh no, because I want it to be good. I want it to be the thing about
how dare you?
I'm just saying. I'm James Wan. You're the man for what you do.
Insidious Chapter 5, the Candyman.
I know. Oh my goodness, you're killing me. You may have just given us the name of the podcast for this week, because that just burns my. That actually hurt my heart a little bit. Just there's a bunch of Candyman and all
Chapter
that.
5, Candyman versus Dracula, because you always had vampires.
Candyman versus Annabelle. Get out of here, man. That hurt my heart a little bit because I hold Candyman in such regard. Because Candyman is such a social satire movie. In it at its gut, like Candyman is really just about the anxieties of like inner city folklore, modern folklore. And it's such a beautiful movie. Like Candyman is actually a beautiful horror film. It's like gothic horror. It's modern day gothic horror. Yeah. And it tells a lot. It tells a pretty good tale on just inner city anxiety and just kids being afraid of something. And I think in the hands of Jordan Peele, I would prefer that over him doing Twilight Zone, only because Twilight Zone's perfect. You know what I mean? Like, Twilight Zone is super perfect.
But we always could use more. I always like to see people's failed attempts at trying to make another anthology series, and like similar to Twilight.
I got 2 words for you: Black Mirror. Watch Black Mirror on Netflix. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, but I think Black Mirror is a little different from Twilight Zone.
Oh yeah,
personally,
yeah.
I would say that Black Mirror. Kind of doesn't use the time frame of each episode to the best of its ability. Yeah. Sometimes it feels drags on, and also can we call it an anthology when there's like a rumor that all these stories are connected in the same
Well, that's
universe?
a rumor, you know. Until
it's fan canon. It's canon.
it's it's funny you broke up during that, and it's about Black Mirror. So the Black Mirror itself is trying to stop you from saying your opinions, Doug. That's awesome, but I don't know.
So, and also my opinion is that they should have made a Shaft versus Candyman movie. But anyways,
Shaft versus Candyman, Final Retribution.
Moving on.
I'm gonna take your Kerner. Oh man.
Or they should have Candyman made today, only it's made by a director who's alt-right.
Oh my goodness.
So Candyman is no longer black, but he's white. And they make a huge effort to mention that there were white slaves back in the day as well.
Wow. What winner? Yeah. We're walking away from this winner, even though what you're talking about strangely sounds like Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. But I'm not going to go there.
Wait, whoa.
I'm not going to write the hell on. But what you just described made me think about Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Yeah. Well, that means you're having a stroke.
I smell peanut butter. Yeah. So this week we had a little thing called Tokyo Game Show that went on, and a lot of video game stuff happened. So we're just going to fly through these games that Tokyo Game Show gave us that I want to talk about because they look cool. There's one game from the guys who make the Sega Yakuza series called it's one thing I love about Japanese games is they have the coolest names ever. The name of this game is called Judge Eyes. What is that? What does that even mean? And it's about a private detective who's also a lawyer that goes and solves crimes around the Tokyo area. And it's supposed to be a mix of like Ace Attorney, Phoenix Wright, and like the Yakuza games, which is mostly like beat 'em ups, walking down the street, a lot of character interactions, things like that.
Had the high impact it's something action from that scenes of the courtroom.
Yes, objection. You know what I'm saying? That's one of my favorite characters from Marvel 3 because you land that if you land his level 3, the maximum, it's almost unblockable. But anyway. Yeah, Project Judge or Judge Eyes looks really interesting, and and there's a demo that actually came out if you have a Japanese account for PlayStation, and a lot of people you can just get one of those if you're savvy enough. But you can play the game now if you want and kind of get a feel for it. Also, there's another game coming out that's called Project Awakening. That looks like a mix of Dark Souls and Monster Hunter. Which kind of just sings to me because I'm just like, yeah, that's some chocolate in my peanut butter that I can really get down with. It almost reminds me of this game called not Darkest Dungeon, but Deep Down that Capcom was making, and it just kind of never happened. So this looks like the next spiritual successor of that dead game, and it's a lot of knight fighting dragon or drake in this matter. And the graphics, of course, look next level. They look like there's going to be on the PS5 or something. Mm-hmm. So I'm just really excited to see how that game looks. Looks pretty. And the news that I'm mostly excited about is we're getting a new Samurai Showdown game. Samurai Showdown. Samurai Showdown's back, dude. You know what Samurai Showdown is, Winner? Do you understand?
Yeah, I played that. I played like an arcade version.
Yes.
Someone had their home arcade system with it in it, and I would play it all the time.
Love me some Samurai Showdown, dude. I remember going to the bowling alley in my local area, and my dad and his buddies were bowling. I was pouring quarters into Samurai Showdown, playing as Charlotte and Gen-An and Haomaru and Halford and Jubei and all those cool fighting game guys. So what this is, Samurai Showdown is a fighting game made by SNK that was out during like the 90s. Came about around the same time as like Street Fighter and Art of Fighting and Fatal Fury and all those just classic arcade games. And Samurai and we've been in the middle of kind of like a fighting game renaissance recently. We have new Soul Calibur coming out. We have Tekken. We have Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat. It's just fighting game heaven right now. And the only game that's kind of been left behind was Samurai Showdown from the old days. But now it's back. It has a Street Fighter 4 artisty kind of paintbrush on wood aesthetic that I think looks beautiful. It's bloody, just like the old games were. It looks like it still maintains the POW system. A lot of the classic characters were shown off, like Nakamaru, who has the bird, Galford, who's the guy with the dog that you can use as a striker. Of course, Haomaru with the giant sword swipes. Just I'm super hyped for this game, man. I can talk about it all day. But I'm just happy that more fighting games are happening for me to talk about. You know what I mean? I didn't even see this coming. I thought this game was dead. So for Samurai Showdown to be down the pipe next year, along with Soul Calibur, I'm just going to have me a damn good time, man. I'm so excited. I can't gush about it more. I'm
awake.
I know you better be, damn it, because we have to close the show with the news of the week, man, which I think is kind of nutty. Is actually, while we're talking about it, let me just pull up this article so I don't get certain things wrong. EA has recently been having issues with their loot boxes, including them in games and running afoul of countries who are considering loot boxes to be a form of gambling, which, let's be real. How does this sound? Little Timmy, you get a loot box every time. Let's talk about a game like Overwatch. CSGO.
Overwatch.
You get for every time you level up, you get 3 loot boxes, right? And with loot boxes, you win stickers and cosmetic changes and things that really don't matter in regards to the game. But if you want a little style on people, you have loot boxes that you can earn, mind you, piecemeal. So for every match you win, you earn a percentage closer to leveling up and thus get a loot box. The trick is that you can earn it the normal way, but to the side here, you can just buy 20 loot boxes for $50. You can just buy it. You know what I mean? Take the weight out, and then once you buy it, the actual gifts that come in a loot box are randomized, so you can get anything for your money. You may win big, you may not win anything. That sounds like gambling to me, guys. A little bit. Don't you agree, Winner?
How dare you?
How dare me?
Okay, so doesn't gambling, though, include that you will win money back, though?
You win currency back.
Yeah, but that's not money.
It's in-game money. It's worse than gambling, because in gambling, you're spending money to get money, right? That's the whole point. Yes. Put in a quarter in a slot machine, you're hoping to get $1 million, whatever. But for games, you're putting money into a digital slot machine that's not even giving you back anything of real value outside of that game. So if you do the slot machine, you win a special gun that shoots more, that causes more damage. You're still just burning that money, but it still tickles that gambling center of your brain. You know what I mean? And it can inhibit such addictive properties, especially in young adults who don't know how to control said impulses. This is why you have parents finding their credit cards stolen and thousands of dollars ran up on loot boxes. You know what I mean? It's an impulse that they haven't learned to slake. Even adults haven't learned to take care of this thing. It's an actual problem. And what countries are saying is that, hey, EA, this is for children. And, you know, most countries and states have to regulate gambling for such reason. Can you not, at least for our countries, because little inside baseball, guys, video games are really adjusted based on region. So one game may have certain data. One game may have something in it that the other game doesn't. And may it be like content, may it be words. It's all changed around. What comes out in Japan for a game may not necessarily pass in the US and vice versa. Right? So what let's say in this case, Belgium is asking is, hey, EA, can you just take out the loot boxes for our people because we consider it gambling. We don't want that in our country. What does EA say? No. Deal with it. Get lost. Either ship our games or don't, but we're not changing anything. So now the country of Belgium is planning to sue EA because of these illegal acts. And it's like, how far do you let it go before you just be like, look, man, we're a company, man. Like, we need to adjust to this because nobody likes the people who love loot boxes are the same people who are spending $5-10, and I'm guilty of it. Like I remember it got so bad. Like every time I got paid, I would spend at least $20 on a loot box bundle, especially if there's new content out for like Overwatch.
Right.
Overwatch drops their summer skins or whatever. And I'm like, man, I want the skins for the character. Like I want my Zarya Olympian skin. But it's a crapshoot. By the time this event's over, I could never get that skin playing it normally, you know? So I'm just going to spend $20 and try to get the skin I want. But after a while, that becomes problematic because a game that's $60 over time, I've maybe spent $200 on.
Yes. So here's the question I have for you. So if and this is for the audience, feel free to message me on Twitter at TrashMonkIO. Yes, we are agree. So you're saying that gambling. So the system of you put money in and you get random loot boxes, and there's random stuff inside. That is gambling.
In a sense, yes. That's at least that's what I think.
Yes. So would you then say that booster packs are also a form of gambling?
Yes, especially absolutely yes. It's a crapshoot.
So maybe we have a bigger definition of gambling going on here.
Well, it's a slippery slope, man. Because booster packs. So let's say you're playing Magic, and you buy a box of boot. It's a gamble on what you're going to get. The randomization of it is the gamble. It's not even the currency. It's not even the act that you're spending money. It's the randomization of said result. You know what I mean? Like if I go in my kitchen, make eggs, cheese and ham and onions, I'm making an omelet, and I know I'm going to get an omelet no matter what, right? Unless I just, that's at least the idea. But if I put a box of pizza in the oven and I open the oven up and there's like pancakes in there, what? You're not getting the return on your investment is not set in stone. And I think that's the gamble. You know what I mean? That's the addictive part. That's me going back. I want that. I want X. And I'm going to keep spending money and keep trying to win this randomized objective that I may never hit. And that's gambling. That feeds addictive personalities, and that should be regulated, especially on a platform that caters to children. I'm just saying, it's just that needs to have some kind of check and balance to it, because it's not, you're not getting out what you're putting in guaranteed. Like if you told me, you know what I'm saying? Like if you told me
it's impossible. You're getting back a thing that makes a 0 a 1. There's no way that you're going to get a return from that.
Exactly. And that's the problem, man, is that people put so much weight into said thing because they're a fan of it. And I totally understand. But if you pay for something, you should get what you're paying for, rather than disappointment that will fuel more paying for it. It's a scummy practice.
This could be another episode.
I'm just saying, like, I love talking about this stuff because I don't know, maybe that's just how I feel. Like, I just think that there should be alternative options, but then it takes away the potency of the loot box or the loot crate or whatever. It takes away the potency if you could just buy it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
I find it interesting that you would use like a strong term as scummy for this, particularly when a lot of companies, they use these to fuel support for the game. Would you say?
It really depends on how you handle it. Like,
Yeah.
this is where I separate. Let's say I'm gonna put two games on the
Yes.
measuring
And this will
tilts
be
or
our
whatever.
conclusion, by the
Oh,
way, because we're past the 30-minute mark.
yeah, this will be the we're
Yeah.
running a little bit late, but I love this discussion. So I'll close it at this and get your thoughts. On one side of the scale, you have Blizzard's Overwatch,
Yeah.
right? On the other side of the scale, you have EA's Star Wars Battlefront.
Right.
Okay, both utilize loot boxes, but what are you paying for? And Overwatch is the opportunity to get skins, um, to get stickers, to get sprays or whatever. It's all cosmetic and doesn't matter in the end game. It's not going to adjust or change your overall fun to be had in the game on a play level,
Mm-hmm.
right? Then you have uh, Battlefield, which you gamble characters. You can pay for Darth Vader, or you may not get him. Pay for this gun that's going to improve your aim, or improve your DPS, or improve your AOE, your area of effect. And people want to win, so they're going to pay more money for that constantly, and they may never get it, and that fuels that addictive part of the human mind. And I think that if you want to make downloadable content to support your game, I'm all for it. Downloadable content is one of the more productive and useful tools to game design to keep your game alive. Like, fighting games are huge proponents of the DLC. New gives them money to produce more content. We can make new characters now. Because you pay for X, we can add the character you want, maybe. It gets the community involved. If you want to do polls, what would you like this to add next? DLC is beautiful. I'm gonna have no problems with DLC because you're paying money for a product that you are guaranteed to receive, outside of catastrophic failure.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But on the other hand, for loot boxes, you're paying an amount for question marks. Can you imagine if playing like Mario Kart, and every time you ran into one of those little spinning question marks, it cost you $1.50? Would you just avoid them? Would you? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or would you just? It changes the whole dynamic because it's changing the game. It's changing the flow of the game and the enjoyment of the game, and it sets apart the haves and the have-nots. Because if you're playing Call of Duty and you're playing against Captain Moneybags, who's just bought his way to victory, it's not fair for the kid who just bought the game for $60. That's a whole nother side to it as well. But I can go talk about this forever. I just think that maybe scummy is a strong word, but I don't feel comfortable walking that back. I think it's just EA needs to reassess their approach to it. I think loot boxes done right can be beneficial, but if you're using it to overly monetize an already successful brand and just driving your fans into the ground and creating a division of the haves and the have-nots based on these effects, and also feeding addictive personalities, it just keeps concaving into itself. You know what I'm saying? It's
Right.
just not, it's not great. I'm just all I'm saying. It's not great.
Okay. Yeah, I can definitely say that. It's just it's hard for me to I would say that EA is definitely the not to make like game developers look like the most holiest of beings, but like EA is definitely the more like I think there's more game companies that use loot boxes in the sense to um um increase. I mean, they just keep the games supported longer. I mean, that's how CS:GO is still CS:GO.
Yeah.
It's still like they still have tournaments
Right.
for it. Rocket League, the same
Yeah.
thing. Loot box, the money, like they actively say that money to these loot boxes will go to tournaments. And StarCraft became free to play and they introduced loot boxes to that StarCraft 2.
Yeah.
It's just I think there's a lot more examples of
Good.
good being done, and
Yeah.
but then you can't
That I would agree
yeah.
with. That I'll agree with.
We have found
That loot
common
boxes.
ground. Mike,
ladies and gentlemen,
Russian G. And
I don't like this lore that you're building that I'm some kind of like Splinter Cell communist, dude. I'm not feeling it, man.
no.
I don't like it. Even I do wear a lot of gray though.
All right, Mike Snowflake G.
I'll take that. I'll take that over the. Thank you very much. But no, my last thought, Luke. Don't be scummy, guys. That's all I'm saying. Loot boxes.
We can agree to that.
Don't be scummy.
Don't
be scummy, man.
Take our money the natural way.
Give us the option. Make it an option, not a necessity. Okay, that's all I'm saying. Certain games it's a necessity to buy loot boxes to keep on top. Certain games it isn't. Those games are called good games. The other games are called bad games. That's all I'm saying.
All right.
Man, can you imagine if you're playing a fighting game and you had to do a loot box for moves? Hey, Ryu doesn't come with the Hadouken anymore, but you can win it in the loot box.
Don't speak that into existence, Mike. I don't even play fighting games, and there's like a Monopoly man going, the what?
The what? I just gave a marketing dude an idea. The day that happens in Street Fighter 6, I'm just gonna walk into the damn ocean because it's over. Humanity is over.
I get his consoles.
Nice, you get all my games, bruh. I'm gonna leave them to you. Trash monk the Dizzard. Oh man,
I destroy all the fighting games as natural, and
if you can't see this, but I'm just gonna say I'm audibly shaking my head. I'm disappointed. Can't do it. One day we're gonna play fight games, and you're gonna love it. Any passing thoughts, Winter, before we close this bad boy out?
Yeah, I'm currently in the transition away from iTunes, which means that I am no longer going to be supporting Apple.
Get them out.
Yeah, I am now using two different accounts. For music, I'm using Google Play Music, and
Good.
I'm using for podcasts this app called Pocket Casts, which is $9.99, one payment, no subscription garbage. And you can get an app for your phone, which altogether it's going to be $15, but it will sync your apps from the computer. Sync your podcast that you listen from the computer to your phone via the internet, and it's streamlined. It will double speed podcasts. I recommend Pocket Casts, ladies and gentlemen.
Pocket Cast. Hey guys, Pocket Cast, if you're listening, we'll absolutely do a sponsor for you. Please, just do it. Just do it. A couple of things I wanted to mention. Please check out our YouTube channel, Master of Nerdiverse Cast, where I've started to doing videos called MOTN Hot Take, where I take 2 to 5 minutes to discuss a certain thing in the news. I've had a Captain Marvel breakdown. We didn't mention that much on the podcast, but just to give you a heads up, Captain Marvel's looking really good, and I do a hot take on the looks and kind of give my idea of where the film could be going. So please visit our YouTube channel and check out our hot takes that'll be coming out throughout the week. I actually have to record one tonight after I'm done doing our show here. And also, please visit our Twitter page, which is at MNerdiverse, where you can interact with me, Mike G, and Winter pops in every once in a while to kind of say hey. And we're just here, just mixing it up with the podcast community, having fun, making friends. So if you want to join, check us out. And if you want to support the show monetarily, please visit our Patreon. Every penny counts. So if you want to give us $1 a month, $5 a month, $4,000 a month, I will take it. And I will put it towards the show and make us sound and
talking to you, Marky Cube.
Talking to you, Mark Cubian. I'll take your cash. But if you want to support us non-monetarily, you can do that simply by leaving a like, comment on our Facebook page. I love reading critiques on our work, especially some of our earlier episodes. Subscribe to our channels so you can be right there when new stuff drops. When new episodes drop, you'll be right there to listen to it and enjoy. I have, of course, been your host, Mike G.
And I've been Winter.
And we will always ask you to take that one step beyond.